Thank you for your cooperation. Good night. This is a bad impersonation. Ha ha ha. Anyway. ROBOCOP for 2014. 27 years after the first ROBOCOP. Of course you knew that, didn't you? Of course you did. Would I consider this to be a remake? Well, looking at it again, I wouldn't consider it to be a remake. I'd consider it to be a reboot. I mean, it's like Batman Begins was good, but nobody even calls that a remake of 1989's Batman. I mean, it pretty much... both films did their own thing, and I feel like that's what this does. Same thing with Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man. Similar but different. That's what and that's what these two RoboCops are. Well, 1987's RoboCop and this 2014's RoboCop are similar but different. Then the plot's basically the same, except Alex Murphy is injured, not killed, and is picked to be the superhuman cyborg known as RoboCop. Now I gotta say, Joel Kinnaman, who plays the title character, is good. He's not quite as memorable as Peter Weller, but I admire the fact that he does his own thing and not try to come off as a cheap imitator. Although there are spots he does pay homage to Peter Weller's RoboCop. Hell, there's one line that says, "Oh, you won't buy that for $1." Yeah, you remember that line. That was that ongoing gag from the original 1987 film. I'd buy that for $1. I'm still wondering why people in the film found that funny. Now, I gotta say Michael Keaton was good as Raymond Tellers, the billionaire who has RoboCop build. Gary Oldman is good as the scientist. Samuel L. Jackson is good as Pat Novak, the Bill O'Reilly of the film. I gotta say, there is one particular scene where Samuel L. Jackson just goes off and he gets just to be Samuel L. Jackson. I'm still wondering if that scene was improvised. Basically doing his Bill O'Reilly thing. Now, what I did like about this film is that the inclusion of Murphy's wife and son, unlike in the original, that they were just basically portrayed in flashback. Abby Cornish is good and still looking as gorgeous as ever. I think Abby Cornish is a good actress, and I don't understand why she's so underrated a lot of times. I think she's a terrific actress and also incredibly beautiful. Some action scenes were pretty good, and some shootout scenes were all right, and I like the difference in the suits. Instead of the gray, I like the whole black suit. And it just kind of adds its own thing, just letting the audience know it's being its own RoboCop, not trying to be like the original. It's trying to do its own thing. And now, is that a good or bad thing? Well, you know what I meant by us thinking this was a reboot and not a remake, because it does kind of do its own thing and doesn't try to be a rehash. Now, on some levels that could be good, but in this case, I felt it kind of took away from what made the original 1987 film good. I'm not going to say what that is in case you haven't seen both films. And unlike the original, which was bloody, this is PG-13 and it's very restrained with. It doesn't show too much of violence. Unlike the original, where it was just bloody and it held nothing back. This version of RoboCop is more like on skim milk. Did I hate this movie? Well, no, I didn't hate it. I didn't like it as much as the original, no. This one's more kid-friendly compared to the original. I gotta say, I like the Ed 209s in this one too. Although I don't think they were as menacing as the original Ed 209. He was just threatening, but they were more like his. These Ed 209s were more like his twin sons to the original Ed 209. Will there be more RoboCop films in the future? Who knows? I give this RoboCop an 8 out of 10.